You made it. Welcome back, you BEA beautiful souls. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you guys that I will be streaming on Twitch for Twitch drops. If you want to earn some steals, some scavenger crates, and all that good stuff, feel free to join me over there. I might do a 24-hour stream, but we'll see. Today, we are going to be talking about a bunch of the balance changes that we've gotten. Obviously, Sohei is going to be the new character, and hey, did you guys realize that he has a 95 damage bash punish? Pretty insane, Ulchigoki, and I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be upset about it too, because the damage values are pretty high, and the character is quite unique in my opinion, so we'll just wait and see how it comes out. And when he comes out, I'm pretty sure he's going to be very egregious to fight against, but he also has like a fun playstyle if you're playing the character. When I found the fun of For Honor, all you gotta do is pick Sohei and Orochi and Hitakiri, Fragian and Shaolin, all those characters. But that's besides the point. I don't want to go too in depth into Sohei because you've seen, I already posted a video on Sohei. I've been doing duels and stuff and talked about the character, what I thought about him already in that video. So I'm not gonna go over too much about him. If you guys did miss that video, go and check it out. But I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the character. Basically, chain 4 MS light attacks, enhanced neutral lights, finisher bashes that are very weak damage, but the strength of this character is that if he gets guard break, he gets these 3 light punishes that collect souls for his weapons, and then if he gets one more guard break, he gets souls for his heavy weapons, which is heavy attack, and then if he lands a bash, he's able to get 95 damage punish on you. Okay, very powerful stuff. And the thing is, you have to land each specific light or weapon attack from different sides to accumulate these souls. So there is some thought process to this character. His parry or riposte, you can either use a light or a heavy attack, and that will get you your souls. So that's pretty important. I think he's going to be really fun to play, and his damage values are going to absolutely destroy your opponent. His tier 1s is pretty good. It reduces your defense by about 10%. His tier 2 allows you to heal all of your HP back as long as you have 6 souls, and there's a cooldown for it. I don't know how long it is, but there's a cooldown. And then his tier 3 gives you more damage when you have 6 of those souls collected. And then of course his tier 4 allows you to regain all your souls at once, so you can get into your bash mix-up that deals 95 damage. And then of course, if you combine it with his tier 1 and his tier 3, it does 149 damage, killing any heavy character in the game. If a character has like maybe some defensive buffs and some shields, they'll survive it, but most likely if you already inflicted so much damage, or at least 2 guard break attempts, which is 18 damage total, you're probably not going to survive that, in conjunction with chip damage on this character if you didn't go for the bash initially, or damage sustained from other characters that you've been fighting. He's probably going to one-shot you. There is some concern for people just using this from behind someone, giving them back shots, just instantly killing them. The pin is actually very quick. It's faster than Shaman Bite and faster than Afira's tier 3 feats. So that's really scary in Dominion, so you have to pay attention. You know, that's the gist of the character, though. Hope you guys enjoy the character. You guys will see the fashion in the background and the weapons, of course. So photo mode is finally being added after 8 long years, and we finally take amazing pictures with cool depth of field and all that good stuff. So I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about this. I personally, as a content creator for Honor, have been waiting for this since day 1. They removed Ansel with which is NVIDIA shadow play type of thing, where you could go in the game and record or take pictures and stuff, and they finally added a photo mode. So this is perfect. I think you guys are going to be pretty happy about this. Alright, and now for the Orochi nerfs. Okay, so finally they're addressing Orochi's problems, and you will see that he's getting quite some significant changes here. So Zephyr Slash no longer enhanced, including on off-target opponents. This is his dodge attack. So Orochi would constantly target swap away from you and use a dodge attack to initiate offense, so you couldn't do anything. So you'd take chip damage, and then he'd go into heavy finisher or use a kick mix-up or storm rush mix-up afterwards to punish you for just being in his face, really. And so that is no longer being enhanced. So if he target swaps away from you and he dodges into you, he's going to have the berserker effect. He's just going to bounce off, and then if your teammate is paying attention, he can easily punish the Orochi with the forward dodge bash of any sorts, or if they're nearby, he can just guard break. So it's a very big nerf for Orochi. He can't just do that willy-nilly anymore. However, he's still able to target swap away and dodge away from you and go into his undodgeable, into a finisher. So he still has that. Zerker and Orochi, they're both going to be still very good in matchmaking when it comes to this aspect of their skill, but when it comes to the highest levels of play, he's going to be nerfed significantly. It's not going to be as oppressive anymore. And they also nerfed his top heavy finisher, the unblockable. It used to deal 32, now it's only 30 damage big nerf, but this is still very solid damage, especially for an assassin character, and especially since it has such good forward tracking and momentum. I still think this is going to be a really strong tool for Orochi with light whiffs into unblockable heavy finishers, because you don't really want to take it to the face, and it has some huge hitboxes when it comes to the forward momentum. So still a very good move. It's a nerf that was definitely needed though. Now, the side heavy finisher trajectories, they adjusted it, and this probably means that they nerfed it because the finisher heavies were ridiculously good. They had really good forward momentum and a huge hitbox. So they're going to nerf the hitbox, and they're also going to nerf the forward momentum. So we'll see how this plays out when the event comes out, or when the character gets released with this patch. But it's definitely a big nerf for the character. He's gonna be gutted pretty good in my opinion. And the last one is chain link timings from Dust Devil to heavy finishers is now 100 ms. So Dust Devil is his forward dodge into light confirm. So that follow light attack is called Dust Devil. And with this change, it means that you're not gonna have as much frame advantage as possible. You can probably light check him now, and that's gonna be a very good thing. So it stops the Orochi from just constantly using the kick light into unblockable mix or going into a storm rush. So that's a very good change for Orochi. And that's pretty much it for him. He's not going to get any more adjustments until later on. Maybe he won't need any. I think he's going to go definitely down tier, not going to be S tier anymore. He's probably going to be like an A tier character. Now, Lawbringer, he's getting a few damage values adjusted, and as you can see here, top heavy opener deals 23 damage, up from 20. Now, the top heavy was a lot slower than the side heavies, and there was no damage difference. So you kind of just always want to use the top one, the left one or the right one, because it has a bigger hitbox, unless you're trying to gank with your teammate and you don't really want to clip him, because the heavy hitboxes have pretty some decent hitboxes in my opinion. But now it deals 23 damage, and you still get that confirmed tap, which is going to be 5 damage. And that's going to be pretty good for neutral top heavy damage, especially since it's going to be a lot slower. So this is a decent buff for his top heavy. You can kind of use this much better for gank setups, because you just deal more damage in general, so that's really good. And it doesn't really help his wall punish. They're talking about wall punishes with Lawbringer, and the thing is, when you do a follow-up tap with a when someone gets hit wall splatted, they get damage reduction. So the follow-up tap is not going to deal 5, it's going to deal like 2 damage. So it would be 25 damage total for a wall splat attack. And you don't really want to use a wall splat attack anyways, unless you're going for the long arm into your pin, because your teammate can land a heavy attack as well without any damage reduction. So this is a decent change. The zone attack, 1 damage up. Not that big of a deal. I don't know why they even decided to change it. I guess it's nice. We'll take what we can get. And then impaling, impale charges now 3 damage. From 1, and this is strictly only for running into impaling someone who's GB'd or not paying attention. That's literally the only reason why they have it. Nobody impales on a light parry unless there's a ledge nearby, and even so, I even forget that we have an impale because it's pretty much worthless. But the thing is, we are confirmed to get a Lawbringer rework slash buff. He's going to be getting a roll catcher now. He's going to be getting a roll catcher. That's what they discussed, and they'll probably be doing much more with this kit, but we don't know what it is, and maybe it'll happen like next season or so. And I'm assuming that they're going to give him a roll catcher. Well, they said they're going to give him a roll catcher, but they're also going to adjust some of his forward dodge mix-ups, because like if you do a forward dodge, you can cancel your recoveries with a light attack or heavy attack. So if they remove the forward dodge into heavy mix, which could catch people who would dodge his bash early, that was a fun mix-up. That was a pretty fun mix-up, but you still have access to the dodge into light to cancel your recoveries. However, if they remove that forward dodge into heavy, they'll have to give it the impale or the roll catcher move. And I think I'm okay with losing that as long as we get a roll catcher for Lawbringer. That's a great trade in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think of that. I think Lawbringer, he's gonna get some love next season, and I'm gonna be really happy about that, because I think he's one of the reasons why a lot of people are pretty just pissed at the game devs in general. So I'm glad they're actually looking at Lawbringer and realizing that he's actually just a freaking dog tier character. That's just not fun to play. He's okay, but he's not fun to play. And that's pretty much it for Lawbringer. And then we have some amazing changes for my girl Warmonger. Okay, so can perform Praying Claw from 100 ms to 500 ms during your front dodge. Was 300 ms to 500 ms. So this is going to be faster, 200 ms faster. That's huge for this character. It makes her a lot more viable in 1v1s, in team fights, and it's just fantastic. You can also cancel it faster too, which is just the greatest thing ever. Now, one of the biggest changes for this character is because if you get a heavy parry, you're usually just stuck doing a light attack, which is 12 damage, or zone attack, which is 13 damage. Not really worth going for the zone attack, because you can't get into your chain mix afterwards, which is your chain bash. It's the strongest tool you have for Warmonger, but now you can just use a forward dodge bash into light to inflict bleed, and the more bleed you have on an opponent, the stronger your chip damage is going to be, because if they're low, the bleed is going to be very helpful if you just get a heavy parry. If there's no wall nearby, just go for that mix up and then go into your chain mix afterwards, which I think is going to be super duper cool. It doesn't allow you to go into your chain mix up with your with your chain bash, but it allows you to stack bleed and scare your opponent on trying to parry more, because they may not notice that they're going to be lower HP and take one heavy attack or one light attack, and they're going to not have enough to recover from the bleed. So that's really important. It also changes your playstyle to an extent, gives you more options on parry punishes. You usually just do a light attack into your chain bash, but now you can just do a bash into light. This Warden also has a similar buff that he got like a couple of patches ago, a very long time ago actually, maybe like 5 months ago. So after a heavy parry, they could just do a forward dodge into a bash mix up and go into unblockable or a chain bash. Warden is obviously going to be so much better than Warmonger in every single way when it comes to chain pressure, but at least Warmonger has some new tools to play around with, and I think that's super duper awesome. Ranking guard is now getting some changes. As you can see here, throws now wall splat from 700 ms to 1500 ms, was 1000 to 1500 ms. So this basically means that she's able to get certain heavies after throwing people. This is a buff, but it's just a quality of life change for ranking guard. I'm surprised there's no nerfs for this character whatsoever regarding how strong she is in the meta currently. I think she's definitely outperforming most of the cast, maybe except for Orochi Hitakiri, but she's definitely a really strong pick, and we'll need some adjustments later on in the future. So nerfs for this character, unfortunately, just some bug fixes. And then we have Jang Jun. He's going to get a small buff here. He's going to be able to use Sifu stance when he's in, as you can, it'll just say, can perform Sifu poise at the same timing as dodge during a recovery. So if you get bashed and a light attack, you can use a Sifu stance instead of just a dodge attack in case you want to have like extreme iframes or get away from certain moves. It just depends on the situation at hand here. So his Sifu stance is going to have a little bit more variability and reliability when it comes to just dodging in general. So that's a really good buff for these two characters, just quality of life changes, and something that should have been done a while ago, but they had other things to focus on. And that's pretty much the entire stream. You guys have seen the Sohei character on my previous video, so check that out if you guys need to, if you want to get a rundown of the character. But what do I think about this character? What do I think about the nerfs and the buffs so far? One, I'm super freaking excited for Lawbringers. Finally, there is a god. There is a god. There actually is one. And I'm so happy that they're actually working on Lawbringer again. And hopefully he's going to get some very good changes that actually let him use his Impale again, or do something unique with his kit, because at this moment he is the most boring character next to, actually I'd say Conqueror is the most boring character in the entire game. And I'm hoping he gets something interesting and get some love for the character. I don't care if he's S tier, I just want him to be fun again, because he is so mind-numbingly boring, especially compared to his previous state, especially compared to Testing Grounds 1 and Testing Grounds 2 iteration. My goodness, they really screwed the pooch there, but I'm glad he's actually getting addressed again, and that's great. I think a lot of Lawbringer players are going to come back and pick up the character, maybe get him to rep 80. Tons of comments I've seen that are like, oh, I got him to like rep 70, but I don't even touch him. I'm not even getting him to rep 80 anymore, and I totally feel you, brother. That's how I felt about Armusha. Armusha definitely needs some tweaks too for the future, but Lawbringer, he definitely needs way more love. When it comes to Orochi Nerfs, very justified. We'll see if it's enough to make him like a less annoying, but I still think he's going to be a pretty good character. He's still going to have that chain kick into Storm Rush offense. Pretty good in my opinion. Probably going to be like an A tier pick still, not S tier and mandatory anymore. But if you're good with Orochi, I think you're still going to do incredibly well with him. He still has good damage punishes and all that good stuff. So Orochi Nerf definitely justified, and I kind of want him to get the nerf for the chain link timing, just like Tiandi, because Tiandi, when you do a dodge bash light, he can get light checked out of his mix-up if he decides for a light bash again, because when you do a light attack, you should have some frame disadvantage. However, with Orochi, you do not. So pretty interesting, if I say so myself. Warmonger getting a nice juicy buff. I really like this. This is gonna make her much stronger, and it's gonna give her more tools to use that bash mix up into light. I think it's just so cool. I would love more bleed characters that have bashes that inflict bleed or just deal direct damage. I think that was interesting, and I'm surprised they actually nerfed it away from Ocelotl, but that's totally okay because he's still a very strong character, just a little bit more generic when it comes to neutral pressure. However, having Warmonger get this buff, she really needed it, honestly, when it comes to 1v1s. and team fighting capability. She's like pretty meh in general. You know, she's not the strongest character, but she's definitely not the weakest. If you can't parry 500 MS light attacks, obviously she's going to be pretty tough because she can threaten you with 500 MS attacks and heavy finishers that have a lot of chip damage and also have hyper armor. So overall, Warmonger's in a decent spot. Definitely not overtuned and not weak at all, but with this quality of life change, I'm glad I can just do more parry punishes. She does have a very strong parry punish that might need some nerfs in the future, but I mean, overall, I mean, I love Warmonger. She's super fun to play, and this will make her even more fun to play because, like I said before, I love using Warden after going for heavy parry, just going for bash mix-up. It uses way more stamina, probably not the most optimal thing to do because I don't even think there's going to be stamina drain for her bash itself. There might be, don't know if that's true because I honestly forgot. This game gives me brain rot. I literally have imposter syndrome already because of all the crap that we've been getting shoved down our throats. But I love this, man. It's good changes for Warmonger. I'm happy she's actually getting a buff, so I'm really happy about that. Let me know what you guys think about all the changes so far, whether about the Sohei, because I like Sohei's fashion. The kit is also very interesting too and unique. The damage values are going to be pretty egregious, not gonna lie to you, but you know, the character seems pretty fun, at least when you're playing them. So you guys have fun with that, okay? I'll also be streaming on Twitch. I might do a 24-hour stream. I don't know if I'm going to do it, boys. I don't know if I'm going to do a 24-hour stream, but if you guys want to get some Twitch drops, earn some free steel and all that good stuff, feel free to join me on Twitch. I might be streaming on YouTube as well. Anyways, I'll just let you guys know on Twitch that's where I'll be. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment on what you guys think of the season so far. If you guys going to play tomorrow, man. If you're going to buy the character, do it. $70 for one-shot kill. Let's freaking go, baby. All right. Bye-bye. See you later.